Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today. Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Still kind of a little bit sick, so bear with me. I know it's been like over a week now at this point since I've been sick, so that kind of sucks. But anyways, let's talk about every movie I watched last week. But first, let's talk about WrestleMania, which WrestleMania was an interesting one, of course. This kind of occupied most of my weekend, therefore I only watched 12 movies last week. Um, Mel and I get to experience our first WrestleMania together, which is really fun because she had watched some of Night 2 with me last year, but she wasn't really a wrestling fan yet. She really became a wrestling fan after that, and now she's like a full on wrestling fan, and we had a really good time together this weekend. Even though this wasn't the best WrestleMania ever by any means, there's some really good highs, but there's some pretty big lows. And I feel like night one started off kind of low. Nothing against Jey Uso. Honestly, it just seemed like the most obvious booking decision. Actually, the way the show started and the way the show ended seemed like the most obvious booking decisions with Jey and Cena winning. But I don't know. I felt like both of them were pretty underwhelming, and like I said, the way that we start and end the show, like technically from Saturday to Sunday, it was a little underwhelming. But the end of night one and the start of night two, both our triple threats were definitely the highlights of the weekend. Definitely going to be the match, probably the only matches I'm going to be revisiting from this WrestleMania. But overall, really great time. Very, very happy. Mel and I are both very, very happy that Dominic Mysterio is an Intercontinental Champion now. And, let's get into the movies for last week. Starting it off with my least favorite, which is The Aviator, which is also, funnily enough, my least favorite Scorsese. Kind of easily, actually, which kind of sucks, but I just really had no interest in this movie for the most part. I enjoyed the third act, and I mean, when is a third act of any Scorsese movie bad? It's not. So, I definitely did enjoy this. I didn't love DiCaprio in this. I usually find I really like Leonardo DiCaprio in Scorsese's movies, but I didn't really care for him too much in this movie. And, overall, I don't really have anything against this movie. I just don't think I really vibed with it very much, and that gives it 55 out of 100. So let's move on to how I ended the week, which was Romeo and Juliet. I found that this was on Prime last week. I didn't even know it was on Prime, and it's kind of like a movie I completely forgot about, but it's really iconic. This is a very childhood classic of mine. Mel and I watched it together. I think we both semi enjoyed it because it's not a good movie, but I wouldn't say it's an awful movie. And overall, I'd say there's more positives than negatives, mostly because of how fun it is. And obviously, it's pretty short, but we also have a great stacked cast throughout. If you've not revisited Romeo and Juliet, you don't even have to rewatch the movie. Just take a look at the cast. The cast is insane. Overall, just a decent watch that Mel and I threw on. We ended up watching. I ranked it a 63 out of 100. Let's move on to Saltburn, which is one of the most popular movies from the past 3 years, I'd say. And I don't really get the hype for this movie. I've seen pretty mixed reviews about this movie, to be fair. I feel that people that are more critical of movies don't really like this movie, but people that just watch movies with celebrities that they enjoy or just watch movies occasionally, they do enjoy this movie. Now, one of Mel's best friends is absolutely obsessed with Barry Keoghan, and I know she loves this movie. And she did not like my 3-star review, but that's all right. Nonetheless, I did think it was a decent movie. It almost made that good 3.5-star rating. It just kind of missed. I ranked it a 67 out of 100. The classism throughout the movie, I think, is kind of interesting, but I don't know. I didn't really fall in love with anything or anyone throughout this movie. I think overall the best parts of this movie was the music and the cinematography. I thought it was a really nice movie to look at as well. But it's just really weird, and the characters are really weird. And maybe that's just what rich people are like. I don't know, but just overall, really weird. 67 out of 100 for Saltburn. Let's move on to another childhood classic of mine and Mel's, which is Daddy Daycare. This is something we have not revisited in a long time, and it's something we've talked about revisiting. We ended up getting around to it last week, and we both had a pretty good time with it. I ranked it an 80 out of 100. I thought it was really funny, and the comedy still holds up today for a movie that's 22 years old. Came out the year Mel was born in 2003. So overall, though, yeah, I had a very solid time with this movie, and I really enjoyed my time with it, actually. And yeah, Mel really enjoyed this movie. She ended up ranking this a 100 out of 100, so her newest perfect movie, which was really surprising. I didn't think sorry. I didn't think she liked it that much, and I just, I personally don't agree with that, but I definitely don't think it's a bad movie, and really, it's just a fun movie to watch. But, yeah, shout out Mel. Let's move on to Death Becomes Her. Robert Zemeckis' filmography is one I want to go through this year. Perhaps this week or next week I'm going to start and watch the Back to the Future movies because I've never seen them. And obviously those are, some of Zemeckis' most popular movies, which I'm excited about. I've seen some of his least popular ones. Now I'm starting to get into more of his popular ones, and Death Becomes Her is one of them. This is probably one of my favorite comedies from the 90s, and I see this as listed as a horror movie. There isn't a single part of this movie that is scary. It's just genuinely comedic, and I feel like if this were to be made today or attempted to be made today, it would just be awful. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Like, this movie today, if it was made today, would fucking suck. It would blow. But back in the 90s, Robert Zemeckis is also a genius with a great cast in front of him, but yeah, I mean, this is a really just funny movie, and I had a really good time with it. I don't even really know what to expect heading into it, but I just had a grand time with this, and this is the funniest movie of the week, and one of the funniest movies I've watched in quite a while, so really like Death Becomes Her, 82 out of 100. Let's move on to Silver Linings Playbook, which was an interesting movie to watch. I get to see Bradley Cooper really act. I feel like I haven't branched out much in... well, actually, I'll say the same for Jennifer Lawrence. I feel like I haven't really branched out much in Jennifer Lawrence's and Bradley Cooper's filmography, so it's kind of nice to get some of their most popular movies off the list, and I did have a good time with this. Ultimately, it ended exactly how I expected it to, and I'm glad about that. And De Niro probably put on one of my favorite performances of his. I just think he's really funny, and he's so... some sports fans are so I just want to call some sports fans lunatics. Like, I'm a wrestling fan, so I'm a lunatic, obviously. I used to be a really big hockey fan, and I was a lunatic back then as well. But there's just something about sports, and I don't even know, like the predictions, what's that word, damn it, I'm blanking so hard. The stuff that you would just continuously do on repeat to ensure victory for your team. The not stereotypes. Damn it, I can't remember what the fucking word is. Anyways, I'm sure you know what I mean. I'm just blanking, and I'm an idiot. Whatever. Silver Linings Playbook was a fun movie, which I enjoyed. Ranked it an 83 out of 100. Let's move on to the next one, which is just a little short film, which is The Irishman in Conversation. I'm not really going to talk much about this. It was a nice watch, just kind of talking about a little bit behind the scenes of The Irishman, which, of course, if you've seen the thumbnail, I watched this week as well, which we'll talk about here momentarily. I enjoyed this, ranked it an 85 out of 100. It's hard to rank shorts and stuff like this, but yeah, the talent and aura at this table is untouchable, truthfully, because that might be the most talented table ever. All right, let's move on to Sinners, which is a 2025 release, and perhaps gonna be one of a lot of people's favorite movies of the year, and I'm very excited to see how this holds up for the rest of the year and how it ends up kind of ranking in people's lists by the end of the year, because everyone I see rank this movie really enjoys it. I've seen many people already rewatch it. And yeah, I mean, this just seems like a very solid movie. Now, I did enjoy it. I ranked it an 85 out of 100. I did feel the first hour was a little slow at times, but the second hour was really, really great. And ultimately, I think the thing I love most about this movie is its music and the atmosphere that it builds. And the atmosphere that Ludwig Göransson creates with his music and his score throughout this movie. And Ryan Coogler is a very talented director, which I really like him. He did wonderful in Creed, which is my favorite Creed movie. I really like both the Black Panther movies as well. So seeing his fourth go around at an original film, I really, really enjoy, with not really any source material, I guess. I mean, obviously there's like kind of source material, I guess, from like, vampire movies, but still, this is a really great original movie, and this is like the first original movie I think I'd seen something along the lines of this. I'm not 100% sure, but this is the first original film since Jordan Peele's Us that has done so good at the box office on opening weekend. I don't remember exactly what the numbers were, what it was for, but anyways, I just want to shout out Jordan Peele and Ryan Coogler, two very creative directors, and I'm glad that we're getting more creative and unique movies, because really, I mean, that's what I think we need more than anything. I don't want just sequels. I don't want just big franchises. I want originals as well. So it's nice to see some diversity in the cinema, and I would definitely recommend Sinners. It's definitely made me fall in love with music a little bit more, which is exactly what I'd hoped for at the end of this movie. And I've been listening to a lot of music all weekend, which was really surprising because I just don't really listen to music anymore. So that was a nice change of pace. All right, let's move on to Cape Fear, which easily became one of my favorite Scorsese movies. And Cape Fear alongside Silver Linings Playbook are probably two of my favorite De Niro performances. He's absolutely psychotic and crazy in Cape Fear, but I really enjoyed just everything that he had done, and he was quite funny as well in this one. And yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, mostly due to the tension I think built. And anytime Robert De Niro was on screen, he was just an absolute force. He was just unreal on screen every single time, every single monologue, every single interaction with our main characters and that family. I had a really great time with this movie, and I really enjoyed it. And this is one of Scorsese's probably most underrated movies, in my opinion, which I ranked an 87 out of 100. All right, let's move on to the top three, starting it off with Val, which is a nice little documentary kind of going into Val Kilmer's life and the ups and downs throughout his career, really. And although I don't want to talk about it a whole lot since Val just passed, also if you hear construction out there, I'm sorry. You guys are right next to a window. But anyways, I really love how passionate Val Kilmer was about film and his acting, and just the ability that, I guess, interest that he puts into film. And he seemed to really love film, and that was his passion. And I also really love how much he loves his family, his children, his ex-wife, and his parents as well. I think I think Val Kilmer is a very interesting person with a lot to discover with this documentary, and I would really recommend this documentary because you really get to dive deeper into seeing just how wonderful of a person Val Kilmer really was. So again, rest in peace to Val Kilmer, and yeah, I can't recommend this documentary enough, so please go watch it. I rated it a 90 out of 100, but don't take my rating as something good or bad, because that's just how much I enjoyed it. Let's move on to my second favorite movie of the week, which was John Wick. Now, Ballerina comes out in about 6 weeks. Me and my friends have decided we're going to rewatch all the John Wicks together. I think one of my friends hasn't watched the fourth one, so we're going to go through all those, maybe watch the Continental series as well. I haven't revisited these since John Wick 4 came out in 2023, so I'm excited to go through them. And my god, this first one raised the rating a lot. I ranked it a 76 originally when I first started ranking movies. brought it up to a 90, so it really jumped up. So I'm intrigued to see what the other ones are going to do, because now all of them are right around that 90 overall. So we'll see. I don't really think any of these movies are like better or worse than the others. They just get a little bit more grander. So yeah, we'll see what that's like. But 90 overall, 90 out of 100 for John Wick, which I enjoyed. And yeah, I'm excited to rewatch the other ones. Let's move on to my favorite watch of the week, which was The Irishman, which easily became my favorite Scorsese movie, which I ranked at 92 out of 100. I feel like The Irishman is very different than Goodfellas or Casino or I don't know, it's something I like. Obviously, Scorsese makes a lot of crime movies, a lot of true crime movies, I guess I should say. And man, I don't know. I really don't know what it was about this movie. I don't even know how to describe how much I loved this movie or I loved watching this movie. But I just thought about it all week, and I just really want to rewatch it now, to be honest, because I really, really enjoy this movie, and I had a great time with it. So, like I said, this is my favorite Scorsese movie now, and really the only other Scorsese movie I want to watch that I have not watched, which I'm going to do this week, is The Wolf of Wall Street. So we'll see if that surpasses or not. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy. For 12 movies, this ended up being longer than I thought, but hey, whatever. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.